with your evaluations. So I'll get started. I have a 4-year-old son named Mishka, and when I introduce him to people, they're intrigued by the unusual name. They want to know what the significance is behind the name. Well, when my husband and I were discussing names, we instantly agreed on Mishka. Reminded us of growing up in India in the 80s. There was a slew of Russian literature magazines, Misha magazine, with a little boy called Mishka, and the stories would come every month, and we look forward to it. And, that's where Mishka came from. Perhaps it would have more significance if I told you at our engagement I gave my husband Love Poems by Edward Bad Browning, and he gave me Humorous Plays by Noel Coward. Anyway, I'm here to talk about my enduring love story with books. My earliest memory of childhood was Mom reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, a naughty little boy whose mom punished him and told him you have to paint a white fence, and he tricks all his friends into painting the fence for him. Soon enough, I mastered reading on my own. The first story I read all by myself was The Stone Soup. It was a wily beggar who convinces a stingy woman to give him alms with just stone and hot water, he says, and make a beautiful soup with it, and slowly he tricks her into giving the makings of an entire meal. To this day, I really think that stone soup has got to be the most delicious thing. I keep telling myself next time I'm free, I want to try and make stone soup at home. That led to summers of looking forward to the new books that come for the next year. First thing I do is read all the stories in the English reader. Pretty soon I progressed to books. My brother and I would strategize, pool our little pocket money we had to figure out how many Amajits, how many Tinkers, how many Tintins and Asterixes we could afford that month. Not much, but when Uncle Pi died a few months back, along with 1,000 other Indians, I felt so bad. He was like a family member growing up. By middle school, I had mastered books. My dad's a lawyer, so he had Perry Mason stories. I was reading Perry Mason, I was reading Sherlock Holmes. I was exchanging books with other friends from school who also enjoyed books. So I started reading Isaac Asimov, science fiction, who also passed away a few years back, another loss to me. And I read Prodigal Daughter, Jeffrey Archer's Prodigal Daughter, not a penny more, not a penny less. Prodigal Daughter is about Florence Kaina Rozanowski. She had a governess when she was a new teenager, a tweener, and the governess teaches her how to prepare for exams, how to prepare for life. She goes on to win the Rhodes Scholarship and becomes the president of America. And I remember thinking, how cool would that be if I had a governess to, all for myself, teach me how to handle math exams. And for a girl growing up in the burbs, leading a sequestered lifestyle, not too many playmates. I grew up in Jubilee Hills. Believe it or not, it was deserted at that time. There was nobody living there. So it was beautiful. It opened up new realms, fired my imagination. Books were my constant companion. Every stage of my life, there were books giving me company. I remember going back a few years, when I injured my back and I was in bed rest in school, I read Hayley. I don't know if you remember. Hayley was a story about a little Swiss girl with a friend who was handicapped. She lived in the Swiss, and reading that story made me feel hopeful because at the end of the day, Hayley's little friend is able to walk again. I remember reading that book and feeling really good about what I was doing, stuck in bed. So soon enough, as soon as I was able to, be sent out by myself, I was in the British Library. And from English readers to fiction that was available at my dad's place, all of a sudden I discovered biographies, poetry that is not restricted to my English textbook. I discovered Lord Byron, so earnest in his love poems. I was in love with Lord Byron. He was just so exquisite. And I discovered alternate lifestyles. Byron was a very scandalous man, and I learned it's okay. It's okay to have different lifestyles and different perspectives. And soon enough, I was in law school, and so I had a very timid voice. I was a mousy little girl, and in law school, a very important thing is moot courts. Moot courts is where there's a panel of judges sitting. It's a pretend case. You're given the case and you argue to and fro. And I remember I needed to increase my volume and learn voice modulation. All alone at time in the bedroom, I would read out Shakespeare's plays, trying to learn to speak and voice modulate. And I won the national moot court competition by the time I graduated law school. But those nights spent reading out Romeo and Juliet still stay with me. Soon enough, I progressed to more serious books. I discovered Sophie's Choice, Magic Realism, Salman Rushdie, Mistress of Spices. And then, I was working and perhaps didn't have as much time to read books, but certainly I made time to read many interesting books. Recently, I rediscovered my love for language, learning to appreciate Hindi poetry. Perhaps English was my mainstay for the longest time. And learning to appreciate Telugu literature, the beautiful translations of lovely Telugu books available now. So, a couple of nights back, I was reading to my 4-year-old son, Mishka. I was telling him of the story of Grandpa and the turnip. There's a big turnip in the garden, and Grandpa pulled it, and he didn't get it, so he called Grandma. And Grandma and Grandpa pulled it, and it didn't come, so he called Mishka. And slowly, my 1-year-old crawled me, and he sat on my lap too. I felt like the life has come to a circle. My sons, perhaps, will appreciate poetry just as much as I did. My 1-year-old is called Puchku. It means Golgappa, Pani Puri, love for chat. Story for another speech now. That's inside. Thank you.